Hey, Satanico here once again for God Loves Comics, and back by popular demand is reading comics, because the V for Vendetta reading was surprisingly popular in the context of how unpopular the other comics videos are, I should say. But, so I decided to read Ode to Kirihito. I may regret it because it's 800 pages, and I am far from a manga expert or an otaku. This is, of course, Osamu Tezuka's one of his many masterpieces. He's sort of considered sometimes the Walt Disney of Japan, although I'm sure a lot of anime fans would consider that to be Hayao Miyazaki, but they're sort of running neck and neck in terms of who's the most iconic of the great Japanese manga anime / creators. But, so, as I said, I'm not an otaku, so I may mess up some of the Japanese names, or maybe all of them. And what I'm definitely not is a medical student, so I will definitely struggle with some of the medical terminology, because there is a shit ton in this book, but it is really fascinating. I'll read a few of these reviews right here on the back cover, which are in terrible resolution, so it's a struggle to read them, but I'll give it a shot. And then we'll move on to the actual book. But the great Neil Gaiman, not so great, but he's pretty good at what he does. Just says, Ode to Kirihito is moving, tender, and engrossing, and also very, very odd. And indeed, it is very odd. Andrew Arnold from Time Comics, the Time magazine comics critic, who's actually pretty good, says, Tezuka turns his comic book mastery to evil in this terrifying examination of moral decay. Fans of Japanese horror, both new and old, should not miss this shocking single volume that will completely change Tezuka's American reputation as the Japanese Walt Disney. Indeed, Walt Disney never did anything remotely similar to Ode to Kirihito, I'm fairly certain. The comic, or this manga, is brutal, depraved, it is depraved, and savage. Kirihito will leave you panting like the beaten dog man. And Adrian Tomine, who is one of my favorite cartoonists, sort of indie cartoonists of Optic Nerve, Summer Blonde, says, a thoroughly original, wonderfully bizarre, and compulsively readable masterwork. Ode to Kirihito is a vital testament to Tezuka's range as an artist, as well as his awe-inspiring example of the possibilities of the graphic novel. So, those are some of the impressions of critics, and we'll move on to Ode to Kirihito, God forbid. Contents, and we're going to start with chapter 1, of course, room 66. Not Route 66, room 66. Ode to Kirihito. The M University Hospital boasts world-class medical facilities and an academic research institute. It attracts patients from all over the world and never fails to meet their high expectations. The patient in room 66 of the isolation ward was another story. Director Tatsugura of the First Department of Internal Medicine and his staff were almost at a complete loss. When the director makes his rounds, a parade of medical staff and interns trail after him like toilet paper stuck to a high-heeled shoe. A popular novelist once characterized this as Daimyo's procession. Of course, the entire entourage can't fit into the sick room, so the tail end always ends up left in the hallway. The interns and young doctors left outside have no choice but to rely on word of mouth. Room 66. X-ray. Yes, sir. They say he's got both osteomalacia and acromegaly. So basically some kind of hormonal imbalance. But Dr. Tatsugura hasn't made his diagnosis. Dr. Asanai, how does the patient look? Terrible. The worst he's been in 4 or 5 days. And we still don't know the name of the disease? Not even Dr. Tatsugura? How are hormone treatments going? Is it true that all of his bones are atrophying? Could it be some kind of auto-intoxication? Silence! Dr. Asanai, will you shut your mouth? It's a waste of time to explain the symptoms to the junior staff. I suppose you think the currying favor with that rabble will raise your popularity in the department. I apologize. Director, I assure you, that Dr. Asanai is just being kind. I should know. We went to grade school together. Here are the x-rays of the hypothesis. Not hypothesis, hypophysis. That we went when we were first admitted. That we took when we were first admitted. Look how much he's deteriorated in just 2 months. Now that's discouraging. My style is to work from experience. I understand the individual symptoms, but I'm not getting the big picture here. I've never been so stumped. Dr. Urabe, I read your report. You postulate that the patient suffers a degenerative incretin imbalance. In other words, an organic disease. It's Dr. Asane's theory. Dr. Urabe brought it up for me. So you're convinced it's endemic? The way I see it, it's clearly a contagious pathogen. But director, no, Asane. Dr. Asane, your diagnosis is too arbitrary. In Dogadale, Tokushima, the village his patient came from, there are records of 223 people dying from the same disease. If you include undocumented cases, there could be as many as 1,000 deaths. He goes into much more detail when he's doing a very beautiful sort of pastoral image of a Japanese graveyard. It's an extremely isolated and insular area. No doubt countless villagers have fallen sick and gone quietly to their graves without ever seeing a doctor. That's why I'm convinced it's a virus. So you would argue that no outsiders have been infected because the locals rarely leave the village? Yes. If the disease was caused by endemic factors, such as climate, other similar regions should be afflicted. But it could be some kind of toxin. Ridiculous, Dr. Asane. Oh boy, I'm starved. Ramen noodles? I'll have the same. What do you say, Dr. Asane? You want to check out the village? I know your contact with the patient in room 66 isn't enough to satisfy your curiosity. Of course I'm not satisfied. The root of the disease is in that village. I know you want to get to the bottom of it, even if it means living there. Ah yes, I forgot. You have Izumi to consider. What about you, Urabe? Why don't you go? Me? No, I get my data from the research, the base, my research on that. It's been that way since grade school. You're a man of action. What about your engagement to Izumi? You should hurry up and tie the knot. Forget all this about Mon-now disease nonsense. What? In the lobby? Oh, shoot. Oh boy, I blew it this time. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about our date. I'm sure you are very busy, Kirihito. I was called up all of a sudden for night duty. The patient I told you about in room 66 is slipping. He's my patient and all. I completely forgot we were going to the movies. I don't mind, you silly old thing. We can talk in the night duty room. Slam. Kiss. How much longer until we can get married? Just wait until next year. No, 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 I want to get married right now. I'm afraid I might stray. Stray? With whom? That Dr. Urabe? He looks at me all funny. Urabe? I don't like him one bit, but he comes on so forcefully, and you're so cool towards me. Has he tried anything with you? No, but the way he looks at me. Why can't we just get married sooner? Come now. You know why the patient in room 66 has a very rare, mysterious endemic condition called Monmal disease? I'm compiling data on it. I'll complete my report by the end of the year and present it at the medical conference. It's just until the end of the year. That's not so long from now. What is Monmal disease anyway? Since long ago, a certain region of Shikoku Island has had legends of dog spirits and magical badgers. You've heard of them. Apparently the source of those legends is a strange disease. It only occurs in one little village in the mountains. All of a sudden, parts of your body go numb, and your bones begin to change shape. Your chin sharpens, your backbone curves. Your limbs become stunted, and you can no longer walk upright. In fact, you no longer look human. You're a more wretched animal, a dog, or badger. Finally, you die of respiratory paralysis. I believe it's sort of atavism. What's atavism? Now and then, something causes an organism to revert to a less evolved biological type. For example, in rare cases, human babies are born with tails. But that's not sickness. Yes, it is. At a certain zoo, they once created a leopon by crossing a lioness with a male leopard. The leopon had a mane like a horse at the scruff of its neck. It proves that once upon a time a lion's mane grew only at the scruff of the neck. But I digress. Humans and monkeys evolved from a common ancestor. It was a small four-legged animal that resembled a fox. Something causes those characteristics to resurface in these patients. I don't believe it. If you come to room 66 you can see for yourself. It's a complete mystery. But what if you catch that terrible disease from working with them? That's ridiculous. True, Dr. Tatsugura is convinced that the disease is caused by an infectious virus, but I don't buy it. This is no virus. Dr. Asane, come quick, room 66. What? He's turning blue, hurry. Clomp, 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 clomp. A camphor injection, an oxygen mask. Darling, don't leave me. Please, stay calm, ma'am. Pulse 70. Arrhythmic DP is 65. You didn't see this coming. I'm sorry, Dr. Asane. It was so sudden. The critical thing is to keep him alive. My reputation is at stake. Please save him, Doctor. Don't worry, I promise that we'll get to the bottom of this. I understand the symptoms, but I don't know how they fit together. All we can do now is treat the symptoms. Yes, sir. Please don't die, for the love of God. Creak. And Dr. Urabe. Well, well, well. Not nice of Asane leaving you alone in the night room, duty room, to go to room 66. Room 66? It's just as well. I've been wanting to spend some time with you. Click. Locks the door. Are you locking the doctor? Please. Cure. Darling. My disease. Oh, darling, please don't die. Scream. And the aftermath of apparently Urabe's surprising or shocking molestation. Forgive me. Izumi. Hey, lady, what's the matter? My report is ready to submit to the conference. It details all of my ideas on Monmouth disease. Commendable work, Dr. Asane. But the conference is in the spring. You still have time to go to the village and gather more information. What do you say? What? A month should do it? Don't worry about your report. I'll take care of it. So you're going down to Shikoku after all? Yep. Dr. Tatsugora recommended it. I'll be back in a month. It's just for a month. Kirihito, don't go. I have a terrible feeling you'll never come back. The conference is in the spring. After that, we'll be married. Kirihito Asane only meant to be away for a month. He had no inkling of the dark plot that was about to ensnare him. And that is the end of chapter 1. Let's see if I can... Okay, chapter 2. Let's see where I'm reading this. Chapter 2 is Dead End. Dogod Crest lies in the Kinzan Mountains. Again, more incredibly detailed sort of landscape work from Tezuka. Will you look at the snow? Do the buses ever crash? They don't crash, but sometimes there's no service for a week. Maybe I was a bit rash in coming here. Beautiful drawing of the bus, careening over snow cape, a snow-covered cliff. Geez, I hope we make it there. Made it. He's off into the snow. Hey there, you got me worried that you wouldn't make it. I do apologize. Had a bit of trouble. You picked a hell of a place to visit, Doc. Don't know if you'll last a whole month. I can handle it. They haven't had any learned types in this visit this village in 14 to 15 years. Oh, someone came to do research some time ago? Yeah, some big shot professor of anthropology from Hiroshima University. Did he have much success? Nope, he's dead. Dead. Look at that emaciated horse. A beautiful silhouette. In his second year, someone pushed him off a cliff into the gorge. Pushed him? But why? Don't know. Don't ask me what the hell goes on in Doggadale. Remember, always go along with what the elders say. It's a very, traditional place. The elders make it rough for young folk like you. Beautiful snowy town. The backgrounds are absolutely gorgeous. Here we are. And you can see the suspicious villagers looking on. Maybe people who are afflicted. Oh, you weren't kidding. Look at all those crows. Wonder what's in that house. Shush. Pretend you don't notice. That's the mayor. I'm Kirihito Asane. Thank you for hosting me. Uh-huh, I got your letter. We don't have a doctor, so I'm much obliged. His words sound welcoming, but his eyes couldn't be more unfriendly. This way, please. Afraid this empty house is all we can offer. Firewood's in the back, wells around the side. Nothing fancy, hope you don't mind. Tonight the local specialty's on me. Oh, well, that's very kind. Just a little something to welcome you to town. Slam. Blows off some dust. Turns on the light, which is attached to a lot of cobwebs, and tries to start a fire. Plop, plop. And then there are far more than just one spider in this house. Wonder when that local specialty's coming. I guess they dine late here. Wonder if they'll call me to the mayor's house to bring it here. Or bring it here. Geez, it's already 9 o'clock. Maybe I heard wrong or something. I'm starving. I guess I'll go ahead and open up a can of something. Oh. Well, good evening. Come on in. Did you bring dinner? Or... oh, you didn't. Come on now. I've been waiting and waiting and... Huh? Are you out of your mind? I get it that in some regions they express hospitality this way. Are you the... put your clothes back on. I'm really not in the mood. I'm cold. Then hurry up and get dressed. Hey, what are you doing? I'm cold. Stop. I'm cold. I'm cold. But I... You really shouldn't have done that. If worse came to worse, we'd both be in a real bind. Hey, the snow stopped. It's cold, but the fresh air feels good. What's your name? Tazu? Tazu, I understand now and then there are people who get sick here and start to look like dogs. Do you know anything of that? I'll be here for just 1 month trying to find out everything I can about the disease. Do you know if there's any documentation of sickness here? I know there should be a record of the deceased at the local temple, right? Tazu? Tazu! Where are you? Hi, lights, please. Do you, know a girl named Tazu? You betted her last night, didn't you, Doc? Dirty old man. She's the only daughter of a family that hasn't left this town in 300 years. By betting her, you've earned the right to live here. You've got the village blood now. Village blood? Oh, and I thought it was a form of hospitality. So that was why they granted permission to live in the village? But I wouldn't go trying anything funny. I've got a clear view of your house from here. Don't forget that I'm watching you. Let's see. My house is on view from every direction. I'm not a spy. It's none of your business where I go or what I do. I have my orders from the mayor. Huh? Watch all you want. Those crows. There must be something in that house. Still watching, I see. How do you like that? Can't see me now. creek. What? Damn crows, for crying out loud. It smells like blood and animals. And it's not the smell of a corpse. Unbelievable. What are all these dead dogs and chickens doing here? This isn't just a work of crows. Something else has been eating these animals. Doesn't look like anyone used this fire pit in a while. So nobody's lived here in a long time. What are fresh animal carcasses doing in an abandoned house? It may be cold out here, but I'll get to the bottom of this. Footsteps. Crash. Tazu, it's you. Is this man your relative? Monmal disease. You were giving him raw meat? Why didn't you tell me you had a case in your family? You know I'm a doctor. Come to my house, I'll examine him. Do what I can to treat him. If he goes untreated, it'll be too late. There's no need to be embarrassed. I dealt with this illness just recently. You're Tazu's father? When did the symptoms begin? 10 days ago? Chills, lethargy, bowel problems, Meniere's syndrome, and eating raw meat, unusual cravings. This is typical too. So that house where sick villagers go to eat raw meat, living like this will only make you worse. We'll need a well-lit, hygienic facility where you can get a proper rest. I'll see what I can arrange. I don't have long to live, Doc. Please look after Tazu for me. Don't talk like that. People with what I've got never last more than a month. Down the mountain to buy medicine. I didn't bring any. Almost falls through. A slat in this little rope bridge. That was a close one. If I hadn't been on a bike, I would have fallen right through. This looks like it's been freshly cut with a hatchet. Huh? What do you think you're... God. You're... Tazu? I killed the old tobacconist. It's okay, it was his own fault. Why did he try to kill me? You've been inside the abandoned house. I've had enough of this cursed village. You can't leave now. If you try to go, the villagers will kill you for sure. They'll try to make it look like an accident. You're saying I can never leave? Ridiculous. Even if you stay, they'll get you sooner or later. They hate you. Marry me, doctor. Then nobody will touch you. Marry you, Tazu? Out of the question. It's the only way, otherwise you'll be murdered. I love you, doctor. Tazu, I have a fiancé back home. We're to be married in spring. I bet she's pretty. She's beautiful, of course. You're quite fetching, too. Do you love her? Yes, I do. Tazu, you're still young. I don't want you to live in fear in this gloomy, backward place. Why don't you leave with me? We can get your father into the hospital, and you can work as a nurse. Doctor, men from the village, they found the tobacconist's body. Quick, take off your clothes. Take them off. Tazu. Tazu! Oh, you and he. How long's he been here? We've been together all day. All day? He didn't go out to the rope bridge? We found Jinsuke out there. In the ravine. Dead. He was watching over the doctor. He had special orders from the mayor. Not to let the doctor leave at any cost. Believe me, the doctor has been with me all day. Do you see now? Marry me, it's the safest thing. I suppose you're right, Doctor. Darling, you have a letter from home. Izumi Yoshinaga. She was your fiancée, wasn't she? There's no letter inside. The seal's still moist. Someone opened it and stole my letter. Oh dear. I know who's behind this. Wait. Why did you bring this to the first who opened it? I know it wasn't you. Tell me who did it. It was the mayor, wasn't it? You stopped by and gave it to him, didn't you? I don't know anything. I stopped by the mayor's office. I don't know anything. Ow! Don't lie. He bribed you, didn't he? Darling, I'm going to the town hall. Is the mayor in? Mayor, you read my letter, didn't you? Why? What are you talking about, Doctor? I'd like to have a look inside that stove. You better go now before you rouse my temper. You keep me prisoner in your village? Steal the letters I send and intercept the ones I receive? Where are you trying to isolate me here? Why? I've had it up to here. Let's have the truth now from all of you. I've tolerated you up until now because you're Tazu's husband. Enough of your yammering. Throw him out! In an age when we've gone to the moon, what an anachronism this village is. You should be a TV special on you people. Get your hands off of me! Yeah, my head's splitting. Ah. Oh, here we go. Chapter 3, The First Symptoms. Hope you've enjoyed the first 2 chapters so far. I have, actually. More beautiful scenery, beautiful pastoral Japanese village with very, very dark secrets. Tazu, how many days since I collapsed? 5 days. That long I've been unconscious? I was making a scene at the mayor's office and my head suddenly started spinning. I fell over. What happened after that? They carried you home? Tazu, are you home? We brought some gifts. Sorry to disturb you. How is your husband? I brought some of our strawberries for him. I have a gift from the mayor. Tell your husband to hang in there. We'll do whatever we can to help. So he doesn't show any signs of, you know what yet? No, not yet. I see. Keep us posted down at Town Hall. What's come over them? They completely changed their tune. What's Town Hall up to now? Don't tell me that little tantrum won them over. They feel sorry for you. They finally accepted you as one of us. Perhaps I think I have man-mal disease. What a silly notion. This is just a cold. I caught a chill blundering around in the snow. Darling, this isn't just a cold. The great man-mal is inside of you now. When you were treating Daddy, the great man-mal moved from him into you. Come now, I'm a doctor. I know my own body. Man-mal disease isn't contagious. It's an endemic illness. I'm sure of it. I've only been here a month. How could it affect me that quickly? Don't worry. If it were contagious, you'd have gotten it by now. But it's just like when Daddy got sick. Oh, Mr. Mayor. Hello, sir. Oh, doctor. I'm very, very sorry. The youngsters at Town Hall tampered with your mail. I didn't know about it, but I hold myself responsible. I've had enough of being monitored. Now that the great man-mal is in you, we wouldn't dream of monitoring you. You're free to do as you please. For Pete's sake, I don't have man-mal disease. Thank you very much. Get out. Had enough excuses. When I get over this cold, I'm leaving and nobody's stopping me. I don't need their presence either. Send them back. It's raw cow meat. Raw meat? What? And scene shifts back to the city. Dr. Yamabe. Izumi. We haven't heard a word from him. I know you suspect I know something about Asane. I'm completely in the dark. I wish I knew what was going on. I'm sure you feel the same way. I'm completely dependent on him too, work-wise. His absence makes me keenly aware of how untalented I am. And I betrayed him the other night. What I did to you was downright. The truth is, I know I'm in no position to say this. I've made up my mind. I'm going to Doggadale. No, it's too dangerous. No matter how many letters I write, there's no response. It's been almost 2 months. There's something mysterious going on. Director Tatsugura holds the key. Until we find out the truth, I want you to stay out of danger. What danger? I don't know, but I smell it. If you get involved, things could get really out of hand. But what about Kirihito? I'll go to Shikoku and look into the matter. I'll have the junior staff look after my patients. I can get away for 2 or 3 days. You're going to Doggadale to see Dr. Asane? Yes, please grant me permission. I can't have that. I was planning on sending you to Africa. Africa? To the International Conference on Infectious Diseases in Johannesburg. I'd like you to attend on my behalf and present my paper. But this is so sudden. Can't I just stop by Shikoku first? Dr. Asane's fiancé. You leave in 5 days, Dr. Urabe. Yes, sir. This is a great opportunity for you to make any sacrifice to seize it. I'm counting on you, Dr. Urabe. Yes, sir. It's no use. I'm being sent to Africa all of a sudden. If it's for work, then I suppose there's no helping it. Listen to me. Don't do anything rash now. Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm here from Japan on behalf of Dr. Tatsugura. Monsieur Urabe, welcome to Johannesburg. Right this way. Please wait here. What is that room for? That's a waiting room for colored scholars. But I am of a colored race? No, Japanese are considered honorary Caucasians. You may wait here in the Caucasian waiting room. Dr. Urabe, I presume. I am Professor Ferdinand of the University of Rhodesia. I follow Professor Tatsugura's work very closely. She is massive. Why is she so big? Is this an indication of how Caucasians, how much bigger they are than Japanese? Especially the data on the curious regional disease. We're particularly interested in that research. It very much resembles data gathered on our university on an enigmatic disease that has surfaced in southern Rhodesia. Here is the documentation. This is Monmouth disease. It shows up extremely rarely in tribes from very remote regions. We took it for a form of rickets, but the bone cell changes are so dramatic, and it's contagious. Does it only affect Negroes? What do you think, Dr. Urabe? I'm quite sure there haven't been any Caucasians affected. I really can't say. It does seem related to Monmouth. I would think that it could infect white people too. Out of the question. White people could never contract such a shameful illness. Professor Tatsugura mentioned that he was conducting a live experiment. A live experiment? Inconceivable. He couldn't possibly mean Asane. Conference room, they're showing video or slides of people with progressive Monmouth disease. In Japan, Monmouth disease has already claimed more than 200 lives. The other day, one of these patients died at our hospital. How horrible. Hard to imagine such a monstrous plague existing in our modern world. There's something very apocalyptic about it. Imagine how they must suffer. The pain, the humiliation, and ostracism will turn them into demons of a kind. May the Lord grant them salvation. Of course, many of these people are guilty, of course, of apartheid, since they're in Johannesburg, and they ostracize people on a regular basis. Meat. Oh. Asana is slowly giving in to his urges. Tazu, I beg of you, hold me back. Chomp, chomp, gulp, gulp. Now he's eating raw meat, like an animal. Tazu, oh, you ate the meat, didn't you? Tazu, please, don't leave me alone. Don't go anywhere. I don't know what I'll do next. Oh, please, stay by my side. Okay. My face changed? No, it's still your face. April 13th. Terrible dizziness, nausea, and a strange hunger. I crave meat, raw meat dripping with blood. I suppose primitive man ate raw meat like wild beasts do. I hear tribes in Congo and New Guinea that still eat all of their meat raw. Writing difficult to control. I struggle to form each letter. Pulse 85, blood temperature, blood pressure 110, temperature 37.8 degrees Celsius. April 14th. Tazu's father died today. His face when he died was that of a dog. The villagers are convinced that I am to be next. Poor Tazu. For Tazu's sake, too, I must go on living. Even if I become a dog, I must live. And that must be the funeral procession. Tazu. The disease isn't contagious. It must be some kind of toxin or hormonal disorder. It's the river water or the soil. I must find it. I need your help. It's starting to grow a beard or fur on his face. But darling, you're in no condition. Tazu, the only thing we can do for your poor father is find the cause of this disease. We might even find a cure for me. And for future patients too. We mustn't give up. We can do this. Get me soil from the fields. I need samples from all over the village. My darling, I'll stay by your side until the end. Chapter 4, Collapse. He's now walking around with a ski mask to cover his increasing deformity, and like a savage, he immediately kills a small bunny and devours it whole except for its head. Everything's going black. Passes out and falls into the river. Hello? Excuse me? Is this the way to Doggadale? It's Isumi. I'm trying to find Doggadale. I'm looking for a man called Kirihito Osanai. He's a doctor, 27 years old. Big, strong guy. He's supposed to be in Doggadale. The man you are looking for is no longer here. What? He left the mountain a month ago. He left the mountain? But where did he go? I don't know. My name is Isumi Yoshinaga. I wrote him several letters. Did he get them? I haven't the foggiest. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. Kirihito Asano you knew no longer exists. And get into some incredible surrealistic storytelling that looks very much like something that came out of independent comics, underground comics from Haight Asbury and the 60s by Art Crumb and people like that. I guess indicating his descent into sort of bestial madness and feral sort of behavior affecting his mind, and incredible storytelling. All these small panels indicating his struggle with his, the onset of the Monmouth disease and, fighting to maintain his humanity and his human intellect. Fantastic page. And more really incredibly experimental stuff from Tezuka here. It's just like shocking. And then these incredibly detailed landscapes. Tazu, did you bring it? Here's the sake you asked for. Thank you. Now I have all the evidence I need. This is it. This is what killed the patient in room 66. Good work, Tazu. You're an excellent assistant. Oh, how I suffered. How I waited for this. I thought I might start eating mud. Have I got some news? Monmouth owes to the fact that the village uses river water upstream from here. There's a very old geological stratum from the Permian period, that unusual soil mixes in with the water. The soil has something in it. Darling, why don't you come inside? No! Let me be. I'm happier out here in the rain. I'm sorry. Victims of Monmouth are all people who've drunk that water. A handful reacted to something in the soil and got the disease. But old Mr. Yokota, who died at your hospital, he wasn't drinking village water when he died, was he? Yes, that mystified me too. You see him in the profile. But the patient in room 66 was always drinking sake. He kept it by his bed. His wife brought him local sake from the village. Do you know what water they use to make it? They use the river water. It's completely eluded us doctors that he was drinking locally made sake. Tazu, since last night, I've stopped drinking the local water, both the well water and the river water. Will that make you better? I don't think so, but at least it'll stop the disease from progressing. At least I won't die. Doctor, how are you feeling? Doctor, you needn't have come all this way with your condition. I could have come to you. No, I wanted to come to speak with you. Will you heed what I have to say? Consider it a last request. Of course, anything. First, as of today, seeing to it that the villagers stop drinking the well water and the river water. But that's absurd! Mayor, you just swore you'd do as I said. The water here is toxic. Those who drink it run the risk of developing Monmouth disease. I drink it every day and I'm not sick. I don't believe you. It depends on the makeup of the water. You never know when it might be dangerous. Of course, I'll have the prefectural Department of Health analyze the water immediately. Until safety measures can be taken, you have to make do with rainwater. If you do as I say, there should be no more outbreaks of Monmouth disease. I'll do as you say. Secondly, I'm going down the mountain to report to the Department of Health. You have no problem with that, do you? But you're in no condition to travel. This is a matter of life and death. My condition is of no consequence. When the inspectors come from the health department, from the Department of Health, I trust you'll be hospitable to them. Tazu, let's go. Tazu! Your symptoms haven't let up, have they? Yes. Your symptoms have let up, haven't they? Yes, thank heavens. It's because I stopped drinking the water. Tazu, how can you still care for me? The way I look now? Well, you're you. Even with the dog's face, you're still you. Aren't you thirsty? A little bit, but I can wait until we get to town. This area has tap water. I'll fetch you a drink. No, you rest here. Thinks about the tap water. Someone's watching her through the leaves, someone's following her, and someone is attacking her. What are you doing? He just hears a bird chirping, scream, and he's running on all fours, basically. Tazu, what's wrong? Tazu! And Comes across Tazu, possibly dead. Tazu, you filthy! Stop! Guy tries to run away. His clothes, Asane's clothes start to fall away from him. Still got the mask on until the guy rips the mask off, and you can see now. It's a dog! Yikes! Dog! Sob. Tazu, poor sweet Tazu. You are my only ally. And again, the gong. Whoa, oh my God. Excuse me, please be so good as to consecrate this body. This should pay for the consecration and burial. Please look after it properly. A badger with a dead woman? Enemy of Tazu, murdering animal, I will never forget your face. You wait. A man with a scar on the right side of his neck. You'll pay for this. Welcome. A room for one? Do you have a quiet room? Sure. Business is slow these days. We have plenty of vacancies. Hard to scrape by with that recession and all. My, what a terrible injury. What on earth happened? Covered you in mud. You'll want a bath right away. Yes. Enough of your blathering. Leave me in peace. The bath's ready when you are. Just give us a shout. Enough. Leave me. Well, I never. Hello, I'd like to place a call to Osaka 344-93XX. Yes. Is this M University Hospital? I'd like to speak to Director Tatsugura of Internal Medicine. Hello? Oh, he's at a conference in Tokyo? Let me speak to Dr. Urabe then. What? He's in Africa? Fine, then just give me any member of the medical department. Hello? Who am I? I'm Dr. Asane. Recognize the name? Kirihito Asane. What? No? I'm not a patient. How could you have no idea? How long have you been on staff? I was there until January. Look me up on the roster. What? My name has been struck from the roster. Take a good look at the records in my main office. I'm quite busy. Please call me back later. I need you to look now. Hello? Osaka, 344-93XX. Main office, please. I'm sorry to trouble you. Would you be so kind as to look up Kirihito Asane on the medical staff roster for me? What do you mean he's been erased? You received his resignation in April. That's ridiculous. I never wrote a letter of resignation. Who's behind this? Minao in Osaka. 2238XX. Hello? Is Azumi there? She's on a trip. Where? It's me, Kirihito Asane. Click. Very strange. What's going on? I need to get back to the bottom of this. Sir, there's nobody in the bath now. Okay. What a creepy customer. Maybe a burn victim. Those eyes of his aren't normal. An outright dog. Damn it. Damn this cursed body. Well, this won't be good. Here comes some other bathers who will not be wanting to bathe with a dog. Oh, will you look at that? There's a dog in the bath. Phew. Yikes. Chomp. Eek, what are you doing? Get out now or I'll call the police. Fine, I'm leaving. Just couldn't help myself. Have I become a beast to the very core? Hey, what happened to your face? How far are you going, Takamatsu? That's a long way. I'm going to the Awa Dance Festival. They go every year. Makes me feel kind of like a new man. Looks like that's my boss. Nice talking to you. My wallet is gone crepes, that man. Shit. I'll catch you if I have to run to the end of the line. Evening, sir. You, the fellow who was staying at the Sagami Inn? Yes. Pow. They said there was a guy with a face like a dog in the bath there, sir. Take his bandages off. Incredible. A dog man. He's been tied up. Who the hell are you? Why are you doing this to me? Water. Give me water. You feel pain. You feel hurt. You feel better soon. Water. You meet Master Man soon. Master Man very nice. You feel better soon. You tell every teen to Master Moon. Master Man understand you. Now be patient. I want water, damn it! That man wasn't Japanese. Oh no, in fact he may have been a stereotype of a Chinese man. Where am I? Looks like the inside of a ship. This must be the hold. I remember now, someone attacked me when I blacked out. They tied me up and brought me on board. Hey! Water! Water! Can't quite reach. Finally. Arg! Salt water! We're at sea. Dog! Dog, come here! Not a dog. My name is Kirihito Asanai. I'll sue whoever is responsible for this. This is your doing or your master's? You must be deaf. I'm wasting my breath. Master Man, be here soon. Phew, what a stench. Eats it anyway. And the master has arrived. Can you write? You can? Then sign this contract. Contract for what? Why should I sign your stupid paper? Who the hell are you? Treating me like this without even identifying yourselves. I won't talk until someone tells me what's going on. Well then, crack. Smack. Rip. I'm not a dog. I'm a human being. Right, dog. I said right. What's the matter? Your hands don't work? Why don't you use your mouth? You're a real pain in the ass, you know that? Definitely getting interesting. Chapter 5. Golgotha Hill. Meanwhile in Africa, Dr. Urabe was on his way to Rhodesia to investigate the mysterious disease that had broken out among the remote tribes, Rhodesia headwaters of the Limpopo River. Mining district, 5 kilometers. General access prohibited. Dr. Ferdinand, yes? I work very closely with Dr. Tatsugura at the university. He never once mentioned a live experiment. An animal experiment would be meaningless. But obviously a human experiment would be unethical, out of the question. But the papers I received clearly specified a live experiment. I see, how strange. But the Japanese eat human meat and slit their own bellies at the drop of a hat. I don't imagine you'd balk at human experiments. You must be kidding. Urabe knew she bore no malice, but found it quite unpleasant conversing with a woman who was so outlandishly misinformed about the Japanese. Yet the matter of the live experiment plagued him. A live experiment? He couldn't possibly mean a Sanai. Director Tatsugura could never do such a terrible... No, and yet... I wonder... Why is it all so hush-hush? He'd be a devil in a scholar's disguise. Is something wrong? No, nothing. What if Dr. Tatsugura meant to test Mon-Mal disease as contagious by infecting a Sanai? The Sanai vanishes without a trace. Dr. Tatsugura always avoids the topic. We've arrived. South African mines? Where do you keep the afflicted workers? Oh, you mean those workers? We have them locked up in a cave. Makes us sick to look at them. Don't want them infecting the others. In there. Phew, the stench is unbearable. Meat, meat. Please, master, we want meat. That's Mon-Mal disease, all right. How bizarre. Why would the disease occur in such a distant lands as Japan and Africa? It certainly doesn't seem like a contagion. Perhaps it is endemic, like Hasanai said. What sort of work were you doing? Who are you? You a Chinese? I'm Japanese. Yeah, like I said. Japan and China are not the same. Who cares? They're the same to me. Watch how you speak to a white man, Chinaman. When you talk to me, say, sir. I'm a doctor. I heard there were patients in the mine with a mysterious disease. I'm here to investigate. Well, thank you very much. This is a white man's mine. We don't need any yellow man poking their noses around. Right, madam? This man is my guest. Never mind, doctor. Let's go. Where there is ignorance, sickness will thrive. Stunting and atrophy of the bone sections is marked, resulting in dramatic deformation of skull and limbs with Paget's disease. If Mon-Mal disease is related to Paget's disease, why does it stay in certain regions and not spread beyond them? Doctor, I want to arrange a meeting. But it must be kept secret. Come to the corner of 32nd and the West District. What is this in reference to? I'd like to show you a patient who may have the disease you are studying. Thank you for coming. My name is McCracken. You said a patient with Mon-Mal disease? Before I show you, you must promise not to tell anyone. I can't promise anything without seeing the patient. Show me the patient first. Here, in the convent. The patient is a nun. Her name is Helen Fries. A woman? This way, please. Well? Are you sure it's Mon-Mal disease? Yes. Wow, a white person. A woman, no less. I'll need to document this. Mon disease doesn't discriminate between blacks and whites. There goes Dr. Ferdinand's theory. What the hell are you doing? A mercy killing. Oh, this is murder in a convent, no less. That's precisely why she must die, to protect the honor of the Lord's servants. And in order to keep this secret, I'm afraid you must die too. Why did you shoot me? I'm very sorry. We can't let anyone learn what has happened to Sister Helen Fries. But you want to document this. I should have never brought you here. Forgive me. Dear Lord, forgive me the murder. It was unavoidable, Sister. Help me take Sister Helen and the Japanese to the cemetery. We can put them in a vault for now. That should give us time to figure out what to do. Won't the police come looking for the Japanese man? Nobody knows that he came to see us. I'm so scared. I am too, Sister. But this is to protect the church's honor. If anybody sees us, it's all over. The car. My car, oh dear. They weren't dead. What shall we do, Father? A little bit of a plot twist contrivance, but he's driving and seems to be relatively fine. But now he crashes the car into what looks like a tenement area. What a madman! Are they dead? Are they whiteys? It's an Oriental and some kind of strange dog. Wow. Both the fellow and the dog have been shot. There's been a crime. Take them to Dr. Worthington. What is it, Mama? Off to bed with you. The bullets have missed the vital organs. There is severe blood loss. They'll need blood transfusions. Who wants to donate? Buy my blood. Mine too. I don't have any money. The Oriental must have some. He can pay. Okay, donors, line up. We'll test your blood types. Where am I? You're in the Black District. You've been unconscious for 7 days. Your assailant was a terrible shot. Both bullets missed your vital organs. A month of bed rest and you'll be fine. I understand you're a doctor too. I saw your passport. This is a dangerous place. Were you shot by a mugger? No. I was shot by a white doctor. Oh. She'll pull through. Gave me a surprise, though. I'm not familiar with her condition. Thank you. Why did you save me? Tried to kill you, and in a convent, too. I had to die. How can I serve the Lord looking like this? You have an illness, and that's all. I'm sure there's a way to make you as good as new. At any rate, I'll have him charged for attempted murder. No, you mustn't. It wasn't his fault, but he shot you. And me too, point blank. I believe he did what he thought was best for the convent. That's insane. Where's the honor in taking someone's life? You call that religion? I'm sorry. I forgot you're a woman. You're all too aware of your own position. I am. A nun with the face of a dog, the scorn of the churchgoers, of the blacks. I won't be able to show my face in public. I'll be expelled from the church. Sister, I'm not a Christian, but I know the story of Christ's life. Jesus said he would suffer for all of humanity. Those were brave words. Bearing a crown of thorns and the public's jeers, he made his way to Golgotha Hill, to his own execution site. He persevered and died for his faith. Your life, too, like his, could end amidst ridicule and contempt. Unbearable suffering might become your lot. But Miss Helen, don't you think this might be God's test for you? Don't you want to overcome this and be strong and live on? Throwing rocks and fish bones and chicken bones at her. Why are you so kind to me? I'm just doing my duty as a doctor. And that's the end, and I'll stop right there, and we'll continue with the next reading. That's 5 solid chapters, so I think that's more than enough. Hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it turns out well, because I'm going to have to listen to it now and check it out. But thanks so much for listening, and be back with the second part soon. Hope you enjoyed it, and by all means, please leave some comments, because it gets a little bit difficult doing these things in a complete vacuum or a complete void. So thanks very much again for listening, and see you next time.